Hey everyone, today's project is we are going to install an outdoor ceiling fan under the new carport. This fan is very similar, if not the exact same thing, to the ones that I put on the front porch. I guess the only difference was they said the finish color was a little different. So we've got a couple challenges here, one of which is that it's not going to be a typical ceiling fan mount. We're actually going to be mounting to those boards there, which were put in specifically for carrying this type of weight. And the other thing is I'm going to be using this power cord. Instead of wiring it direct in, I'm going to take the ceiling fan wires and convert them to a plug, and then we're going to plug them into that outlet box that I've just put in up there and run it all from that. So probably the biggest challenge here, or what will take up the most time, is going to be assembling the fan. Those are always time consuming to get together. But hey, it's a good project for the morning before it gets too hot out. Let's get busy. Okay, let's start by seeing what we've got to work with here. We got our instructions, always good. We got our blades. Here's our light. We'll be using that later. This fan actually came with 3 bulbs, which is nice, 3 LED bulbs. I probably will be swapping those out for amber bulbs. We've got these. These are weights and balances for the fan. I'm hoping we don't need those. Okay, and here is some hardware and the pull chains. Those can go with that. That'll be a late. We got some wire nuts. Not sure what that one screw is for. There's 2 of the blade arms. More of the blade arms. Fifth blade arm. There's the cover for the ball and the mount. I'm going to leave the glass in here, and then here's the fan motor itself, which can stay in there for now as well. Well, so let's see what we got. First step. It does give us a nice handy picture of how it all goes together. Probably want to build the blades and the arms first, but let's see what it tells us to do. Well, the first thing it tells us to do is to put that thing. Put the ball mount up there. Okay. Easy enough. When we get to that, I'll be right back. So one problem we're gonna have is, since the wiring isn't gonna go up through the center of that, we've got to cut a place in this for the power cord to come out, but we'll get to that. Okay, next it says pull all these out, which makes sense because this is where the blades are going to go. I always do this step wrong. So let's not forget, this piece has to go on before you put the cables through. I always do that wrong. Putting back on. Now I've got the ball and this. Okay, so they want us to get ready to mount it. Okay, let me get my electrical stuff. We're gonna build the power cord. All right, so these are pretty easy to make. There's not a lot of logic involved in how, or not a lot of difficulty involved in how this all goes together. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory on the wiring for the most part. Your black and blue are your hot for your light and your fan motor. Your white is your ground, and then you've got a green which goes to green here. All right, so let me I gotta take care of some more of this insulation. I got too much of it. Yeah, trim it back a little bit. Okay, we clearly don't need this much wire. I'm going to cut these back. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, since this is outside, I'm going to use marine shrink tubing. So let me get the parts I'm going to need for that. All right. I'll be doing a belt and suspenders approach for the wiring. And by that I mean I will be using these crimp connectors and I will also be putting shrink tubing on top of those. Well, these are just waiting to spill. Alright, so I'm going to need shrink tubing that's large enough to go over these when they're done. And I'm going to need 2 pieces on each. So 1, 2. On this one, I think we'll use the smaller. All right. Connector. I'm not very concerned with the green ground wire. I don't need to reinforce that with marine grade shrink tubing. Should have all our pieces in place. Okay, the black and the blue go together. Goes to the black from the power wire. crimp piece over. Now, I know, again, I'll say this, it's not necessary to do this, but I do this. I crimp this down because I want to kind of hold everything right there. Okay. White goes to white. Green goes to green. Okay. And now let's hit it with heat gun. Okay. Slide this guy all the way over there. All the way over there. Let's hit him. The second piece seals it completely. It seals the open end on the other open end on the connector. All right, let this cool off. I'm going to show you something about marine shrink tubing. What makes it different is you can kind of see this? There's glue inside it. And that seals it and keeps water out. And that's why we're using it for this outdoor application. We don't need it for this ground wire. It's just overkill. All right, so we've now successfully built our wiring harness. So next step, well, I guess we just hang the fan up in the ceiling. Yep. All right. So for now, let's about as far as I'm going to take this. It's hung. All right, I got a fan going. It's already 88 degrees out here. So next part is the most boring step, which is attaching the fan blades to the arms. I'll do one, and then I'll basically stop the film because you don't need to see all this. It's really incredibly boring. Get all these screws, the washers somewhere. Yep, all these washers. Blades. We're going to go with the darker color. That's what we want to see. So that goes down. So these arms, obviously they're mounted like this. Take your washers, your screws. Three washers, 3 screws on each one. One down, 4 more to go. Let me do those, I'll be right back. Okay, all 5 blades are done. Now comes the even less fun part, is where you take these screws we took out of the motor here earlier, and we put them to good use mounting the blades. And this is probably no easy way for me to actually do this. It's a very uncomfortable place. Yeah, probably. It's gonna be an awkward angle for this, but we'll get it done. Drop the screws. That's good. This is a very awkward way to do this. Alright, I'm going to do these other 3, and I'll be back. All the blades are in. Now, I'm going to use the screwdriver just manually check these and make sure they're all tight. Okay, next up, this plate has to go on. See, disconnect tie wrap on this thing. I recall one of these screws needs to come out. Those do need to get loosened, but not come out. That. And then the third screw can go back in. If I can see where it goes, hopefully. Again, manually checking with a screwdriver. That was a pretty easy step. Next, you take our light fixture, as a connector. That. And now you gotta use these other screws, right? Three or four. Three. Okay. So we're gonna take one out. Same as before. Actually, maybe I should show you this time exactly why we're doing this. All right, so this has these slots in it. It's got two slots, 1, 2, and 1 hole. So you can keep 2 screws in, and you put the slots right over that, like that. Lock it in, and then put the third screw in. That's all. Nothing complex. Two in, lock. Ready to go. Back up. All right. That's that. Okay. We got it. It's time to put the bulbs in. So I'm not going to use the bulbs that are in it, and I may regret this decision later. I'll be right back. Time to put the bulbs in. Now, these are the bulbs it came with, and these, they're good bulbs. They're just, in my opinion, they're a little too bright and a little too white for aesthetics of an antique home. What I like to use are these. So these are amber LEDs. So there's not much difference. They look about as bright, but the light is a little more golden. So I'm gonna go with these, and maybe I'll regret the decision, I don't know. But it'll match what's on the front porch for the odd time that I actually have all this stuff lit. Let me put these all in and I'll be back. Kind of crazy how these are all bent up. Needs to be bent down. All right. Next, I think it's the dangerous part where we put the glass in. Let's see. Yep. All right. So, glass. Really, this is a good step to do with two people. Honestly. Because somebody can hold the shade and stop it from falling. So let's see how all these pieces come out. All of them come out. Okay. So these two pieces, these are the aesthetics. You don't need to worry about those. We need this, and we need the rubber washer. So when we put the glass shade up, we've got to be mindful of the pull chains. They've got to go through it. Okay? Let me grab the shade. I'm taking the box off camera and putting it under here just in case I do drop this shade. So maybe there's a chance it'll fall in the box instead of on a concrete table. All right, but I've done plenty of these and I haven't dropped one yet. Hardest part is getting the strings in, getting that up, the washer on, and then, sorry you can't really see what I'm doing, but suffice to say, I was successful. Okay. Not so bad. Got two more pieces here. All right, these are good. These are good and loose. Yep. We've got two extra chains somewhere in here. I know they're here because I saw them. All right, last step. I got the cap on up there. I got it plugged in even with the power switch off. I'm gonna add the pull chains. No, one is light, one is fan. Not sure which is which here. I think this is light and that's fan, but well, good time to test the thing. Put the switch on. And here's our big test. All right, that is light. The light one. This obviously is the fan. Let's hope the fan works as well. All right, and the fan. Wow. Everything works. Yeah. One other thing I've got to secure is that catch wire. That's easy enough. Looks like it works good. It's not shaking. We got light. Wonder how much air it makes. I think that's on high. So I've got the whole thing. So rather than having to reach over and use the pull chains, you can actually just flip that switch. So I'm looking forward to trying it out at night. So that's it. I mean, that was, I don't know, maybe it took me an hour. I did have to take a break here and there because it's now 96 out. So, not a bad job. So if you want to wire your own outdoor fan, and you know, in my case, I wanted to make it so I could just unplug it and you take advantage of the electrical box I put in up there. So that's an extra step you won't need, but outdoor fans, they go in exactly like indoor fans. Just follow the instructions. You need a screwdriver, a couple basic tools, some wire strippers and things like that. They supply wire nuts. I didn't use them. I soldered in all the wires because of its exterior and it's going to be exposed wiring. So, hey, if you want to take on something like this, as I always say, don't be intimidated. Just go out, get busy. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It's a growing channel and that really helps. Take care. Yeah, it's pretty dark out. Let's see what it looks like.